Hello folks, welcome back. Game 2 of our first day of playoffs here for the SEQ part of Gridiron Queensland. We're coming to you live from the Sunshine Coast Stadium to be exact. We've seen one Sunball competitor settled here with the number 1 seed, the Griffith University Thunder, defeating the Raptors. And let's take a look at the semi-finals so far. As I mentioned, the Thunder with a convincing win over the Raptors, 62-0 over the Moreton Bay Raptors, and Stingrays versus Ravens upcoming. We'll take a look at the league table now. As you can see, the Thunder earned the number 1 seed. They'll progress to the Sunball, and now we've got a battle between second and third, two 6 and 4 teams here, one of which, the Gold Coast Stingrays, do have the edge over the Ravens. They did go 3-1 against the Ravens throughout the regular season, both teams finishing on 12 points. Before we progress too much further though, let's take a look at the officials. This game will be led by David Hodkinson, with Harley Johnson, Cameron McCormack, Sadie Singh, Joe Goslin, Andrew Cavalier and Chris Emery backing our man up. Instant replays and replay challenges will be handled by Gary Kendall and Brian Bolzano for this game. They'll be all following the lead, of course, by David Hodkinson. You can see on the field now the concentrated faces of the Gold Coast Stingrays, perennial playoff team, several several multi-title players there, including quarterback Lauren Evans, both All-Australian quarterback, state and Sun Bowl champion. For a long time, it was a sure thing seeing the Gold Coast Stingrays women's side in the Sun Bowl. For the last 2 seasons, that has not been the case. In fact, it has been the back-to-back champions, the Bayside Ravens, taking their place, along with the Griffith University Thunder. Stingrays desperately looking to change the Sun Bowl combatants over the last 2 seasons. It will be the first time we see a Thunder and Gold Coast Stingrays matchup in the Sun Bowl, if that were to come to fruition. It will also be the first time we see the Ravens taking on the Stingrays in the Sun Bowl. Ravens Sun Bowl games, have seen some of the Ravens getting hyped and dancing up a storm on the stream there. Isla Cook leading the charge. 3 times the Ravens women's side has been in the Sun Bowl, first of which saw them against the Stingrays, who handled them in their first ever outing. It was their very first season, in fact, actually, that the Ravens have made that Sun Bowl, defeating the Jets in an upset victory in the semi-final up at Toowoomba. There's Pete Davies, head coach of the women's side in his first year with the Ravens. Former head coach of the Saints and I think the Steelers as well. Both teams now defunct, but of the Logan City football program. He'll also be aided by Sun Bowl winning coach Gerard Fitzpatrick, who's stepping in for Ike Summerfield, who's on a vacation, along with defensive back Candace Swazelane, who'll be missing from the defensive side of the football for the Ravens, which could be huge. She plays at safety, helps defend some of those deep passes, and a part of the field that the Gold Coast Stingrays like to attack. As far as the Stingrays goes, their offense is led by Evans at quarterback, and then she's got outside threats in both Fuller and, of course, Riley Hodgson, 2 of the final wide receivers in the nation, let alone Gridiron Queensland. Both these teams went 6 and 4 throughout this season. As I mentioned earlier, the Stingrays, they went 3-1 against the Ravens in their 4 matches this year, but the most recent of those games was taken by the Bayside Ravens, probably giving them a bit of a mental bump there, proving that they can actually defeat the Stingrays. It would be very difficult coming into a playoff game against a team that went 4-0 against you during the regular season. It was odd though that the Ravens are the only team to have handed the Thunder a loss this season. Gold Coast Thunder went through this season 2019 8-2 with those 2 losses coming to the Ravens. And the Stingrays were unable to take down 2019's #1 seed. They did come close at a game at Glennon Park. Final score was 8-0. It was an Amanda Ewers touchdown that separated that game. The white hat official, Dave Hodkinson. There's a couple of the men's Ravens in the crowd there. I see Warwick Russell, another one of the Sunshine Coast natives. There's quarterback Jared Stegman in his Hawaiian shirt that's so often featured in his weekly vlogs. OzQB, if you haven't sussed it out, like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us, wherever you may be joining us this soon-to-be afternoon. Actually, in fact, afternoon here, local time, 5 minutes past noon here. Kenny and Jezza calling all the action for you for the playoff weekend. I'll soon be joined by Coach August Matene, who's just wrapping up with his Raptors side before he'll join me in commentary. Looking like preparation's going a little OT. I thought we were going to be kicking off at 12 o'clock. Both teams are ready though, or it looks like we're about to witness the coin toss. There you see the 4 captains for the Bayside Ravens: Marissa Hayes, Alex Aarons, it's Ellie Sharman, and wearing number 25 there. For the Bayside Ravens is Brittany Todd, and then for the Stingrays, Lauren Evans, Sarah Kane, Aroa Tulloch, and Riley Hodgson. The 4 captains in Columbia Blue. Plenty of state and Australia teammates coming together here at this coin toss. And we'll take it out of Dave Hodkinson for the coin toss.
Alrighty. G'day ladies, welcome to semi-final football. Bit hot today, so we'll get some water breaks in when we can. I'll do you a deal though, the refs get some water as well, okay?
Okay.
Appreciate it. Alrighty, Ravens, you're the visiting team for this game. We've got a 20-cent piece, that's tails, and that's heads. What's your call?
Heads.
Heads. Heads is the call. It's a tail. Gold Coast, you won the toss. Defer. Gold Coast won the toss. Defer their option of the second half.
We'd like to kick into the ring. We want the ball.
Are you sure you know what to do?
We'd like the ball. I wasn't listening to what
You want to take the ball?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. Which direction would you guys like to take?
Run that way.
You'll run that way, please turn around. For the first half option, the Ravens will receive. Good luck, ladies.
And Marissa Hayes clearly not taking note of the coin toss instructions. Initially wanting to kick with the wind before someone told them that they're taking the ball. That would have given the Gold Coast Stingrays, one would likely think, 2 possessions there. You'd think that they'd use their second half option to take the ball there. A little bit of humour to start the day. Even at 12 o'clock. Still a bit of an earlier start for both these teams. Probably still waking up just that little bit. Literally both these teams had quite a few players actually book some accommodation up here at the Sunshine Coast to prevent an early morning commute. I don't know about you guys, but I think that would make quite the difference. Alright. 2019 playoffs continue. Gold Coast Stingrays and the Bayside Ravens looking to be team number 2 in the 2019 Sun Bowl. Ravens are looking to give themselves the opportunity to go back to back to back. Stingrays looking to return to the Sun Bowl for the first time since 2015. Stingray's having a long huddle here before the kickoff. I'm not sure if it's tactical or just one final pep talk. Ravens ready for the return. Back deep, Sade Kelly and Brittany Todd. We're also possibly missing a kicking tee at the moment. Don't see one out at the 30. Seeing nothing but a bunch of awkward faces. Don't tell me neither team has remembered to bring a kicking tee. I think that might be the case. And Cody Fuller's going to have to kick this off with the aid of a holder. That's going to come in the form of Tanel Nearing. And Nearing will hold. And Fuller will kick this downfield without a tee. Not a bad kick. Gets it all the way down to the returners. Fielded by Todd at the 12. She'll look for space down the left-hand sideline. Follows one block and will get this just past the 30. And the Ravens offense will get ready to start this game with the opening possession. Here comes Ellie Sherman to get her offense underway. Ball set at the 31. Chantel Beaver will start at a running back. Spread formation. B. Clement, the near side wide receiver, but it'll be give to Peaver. And, well, she thought she bounced out of that tackle for a quick second. Whistles call that play dead after a 2-yard gain. For those who have watched the Ravens in years past, it's worth noting it. Christy Moran is active, but it is Peaver getting the start at running back today. It'll be interesting to see how Moran is used on which side of the ball. Todd in motion. Possibly a quick jump there from the Stingrays. No flags are thrown though. And another positive gain. Sharman keeping the ball on that play. And now Moran jumps onto the field here on 3rd down. Third and 4. Ball on the 43. Okay, there's a shift now on a 3rd down. And the give will be to Moran. Moran will try to find some space to the outside. And that she does. She's got the 1st down. A shift on that play. Shades of both playoff and Sun Bowl plays before. Ravens utilizing shifts early in the play calling. 1st down and 10. Now Moran will get the toss play out to the right. Flags thrown as soon as the ball snapped though. Moran gets this to the 42. And we'll have our first penalty of the game, it would appear. Getting ready to join me now, August Mateni, fresh off an early morning game. He'll be getting set and we'll be getting his audio up in a moment. think they've got your audio set, Coach. Hang on. There we go. The penalty being assessed on the offense. They'll get moved back here. And Coach Matene, probably not the end of the season you would have dreamed of.
Legal
but
formation
still another-
on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay first.
Thought they'd call the penalty. They had not yet. But Coach Matene has said, yeah, not the dream ending to your 2009 season, but still a wonderful group of girls and a bunch of girls who look like they had a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely, Kenny, and we do appreciate the GQ giving us the opportunity to play in the semi-final for the first time ever in the club's history. And we just want to look forward to an awesome game today between the Stingrays and the Ravens.
And I think your audio is just coming through Mike at the moment. Hopefully our director there gets your audio up, but second down and 15. All right, there we go. Now you're back. Coach, Tenny will throw to you in a second. Here goes Sade Kelly. Taking her first carry for the afternoon. Gets it past the original line of scrimmage. That'll give him third down and long here for the Ravens. Yes, Coach. Yeah, an opportunity to play finals football. A good taste of finals football for some of those girls who we hope will stick around the sport for a few more years to come.
Absolutely, Kenny. We do appreciate having the opportunity to play in the semis, and obviously it's just about growing the sport, particularly for the women in this country. So it was a fantastic opportunity for our team.
Did I hear correct that obviously you guys were a little unaware of the playoff situation you guys are in, and a couple of girls had to come back from early from holidays?
Yes, absolutely. We had one of our players actually arrive last night from Chicago. So yeah, it was taken by surprise, but look, we just took the opportunity and gave the ladies a bit of an experience that they may never get for a while.
Huge play there from the Stingrays on third down. The Ravens opting to keep it on the ground. Peaver gets shut down, and now we've got a fourth down and double sticks. Ravens will have a decision to make.
This is definitely going to be an arm wrestle for both these teams, pretty evenly matched throughout the season.
Yeah, you've obviously played both of these teams. Mate, I'll give you an early call. Do you have an early favourite?
I'd say the Ravens sneaking ahead of the Stingrays.
Just nicking ahead. The Stingrays have been involved in quite a few close matches over the last quarter of the season, and that might have primed them for a playoff performance to get them into the Sun Bowl. A completed pass here on fourth down with plenty of work to do. It won't be enough. The Stingrays earn themselves a turnover on downs, and they'll get their offense back on there to try and grab the first points of the game.
Yeah, it's probably pretty hard to tell, but from our game experience before this one, there's actually quite a big breeze going from left to right as you look at the screen. So it's actually pretty hard to throw into the wind. So obviously the advantage will be the Stingrays in the first quarter.
And yeah, as I said, that breeze kind of came out of nowhere. When I was out there this morning before the broadcast began, that breeze was minimal at best, and then all of a sudden, as soon as you guys kicked off, the Sunshine Coast doctor came screaming over Sunshine Coast Stadium.
Yeah, that's right. In actual fact, the Thunder even got a touchback on the kickoff, so it shows you how big that wind was.
Flags are thrown early. This pass was intended for Hodgson over the top of the head of the two players. It goes Moran on the coverage. Seeing that on replay.
Oh, very unlucky. Unlucky.
And just looking at the last couple of games for the Gold Coast Stingrays, finished off with a loss to the Bayside Ravens. The challenges today 16-6. That was
Legal formation on the offense. 5 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Replay first.
too many in the backfield against Stingrays, but yeah, 16-6. Won in favour of the Bayside Ravens. They had a big win against your Raptors, Coach, 64-0 before that, and then a 6-0 victory over the Ravens. So this game primed to go either way. First down and 15. Evans loads and throws, looking for Hodgson again off target. The Ravens look like they're going to try to shut down Hodgson with Christy Moran.
Yeah, and it's probably showing too that the breeze behind Lauren Evans' back. She's had 2 big overthrows on that, so she just have to adjust their throw pattern to that, and I'm sure she can connect later on in the game.
And fair to say, Evans, one of, if not the most accurate quarterback in the women's division. even she might struggle with some of the wind today.
No, exactly, and I guess the curse in the southeast Queensland gridiron is the fact that we've got probably the best quarterbacks in the country.
Second down and 15. Evans looking over the middle again. No one but Ravens in the vicinity though. Now they've got a 3rd and long, opening with 3 pass plays.
Yeah, that's it. You know, they're just, I guess, trying to feel out the Ravens and see what their defence is going to do. But it's been pretty stock standard at the moment.
And one was... Generally think they'll go back to the air here on 3rd and long. But knowing where the Stingrays like to go for it, I wouldn't be surprised to see a run here and see if that'll set them up for a closer 4th down. 3rd and 15, wind picking up again. They'll go for it through the air again. Passes complete to Hodgson underneath, who's got some space, and she might have just got that first down there on 3rd and 15.
Yeah, it didn't take too long for them to get connected, did it?
They tried 3 plays in a row. Got there eventually, and the Stingrays are claiming they've got first down. And the referees, the official teams, agree with them. I think that was probably the right call. Looks like she fell over the first down yardage marker there, and they'll have a fresh set, converting on 3rd and 15. First and 10. Evans with Jensen in the backfield. They'll go speed option. Evans will try to stiff arm the defender. The defender being Chantel Piva gets a yard out of the run.
So in terms of their formations, they're not really doing terribly too much different to what they've done in the past. I guess it's just a lot of execution, really, isn't it?
Well, no official sideline offense coordinator for the Stingrays. Evans tends to call the players from the field, and I think maybe to ease in that, they try to limit their formations, and it means that substitution is probably a little easier for them. Everyone kind of knows their roles when they're jumping on. Probably only half a dozen different formations, though. This seems like a new one for the Stingrays. They go to the pitch out to Jensen. Jensen can't find any space, and she's tackled at the line of scrimmage. B. Clement on the tackle.
Yeah, that's a bit of a change in the formation, like you say there. It's a little bit of a new wrinkle.
And 3rd and long. So they converted on their last 3rd and long conversion attempt. That was a pass to Hodgson. They find themselves in a similar hole. They go trips right. Hodgson inside there. She runs a bubble, and that's where they'll go. Moran's there, but Hodgson gets outside her. Doesn't convert, but does make a 4th down decision a lot more easier.
Not surprising that number 6 made that nice tackle on the outside, playing in the outside linebacker role.
Well, it might be a busy day for Moran. Moran has been worked back into the roster over the last half of the season, particularly the last quarter there, and she did tell me that she had been dealing with, fatigue issues and whatnot, which is natural, I guess, if you've been only weaning yourself back into the rotation. But looks like she might be in for a busy day. The Ravens jump, but they get back onside. The umpire almost getting involved in the play there, incomplete.
Yeah, and you're right, Kenny, too, with people at the higher end of the football in Australia, the likes of Moran and Evans playing at the higher levels. Their seasons don't tend to stop. They're almost playing football 12 months of the year.
Just Northcliffe, the intended receiver on that 4th down attempt. It's incomplete, and now we've got a turnover down. So both these teams to start off the playoffs trade empty possessions. 1:53 remaining in quarter number 1. This first quarter zooming past.
I'm actually just trying to see if there's a decent punt out there today.
It seemed like it was a bit of a struggle out there for the punters between the wind and the pressure.
Yes, exactly right. But a lot of it was down to the Thunder and their defence.
Here comes Super 7 Ellie Sharman. The Ravens trying a bit of their own speed option.
And you got to give it to Ellie and the Ravens as well. Like, she's unusual position, and she's taken it pretty well. So, learning curve, obviously, even though she's an experienced player.
Yeah, experienced player, but first year starter at quarterback. Served as the team as a backup last year, but yeah, this preseason was her first full preseason for the starting role. Grabs 1 yard on that last play. Now, I tell you what, we've seen both teams try this speed option. The Thunder seem like they possibly run it better than both.
Yeah, I think with the Thunder, with their skill sets and the personnel they have, they actually execute it really, really well.
More of that after this play. Second down. They go for the pitch out, and just as I was
She's away.
saying the Thunder run it well, look at the Ravens are streaking down the field there. Sade Kelly, she'll beat out the entire of the defense, leaving Stingrays in her wake. Well, perhaps the Ravens just take their claim as the ability to run some option.
Now we might have to watch this replay and see how well this was run, because that's was perfect. Just too much speed to the outside, way too much speed.
Sade Kelly showing off some toe. And of course, no surprises, the escort there taking it downfield. Marissa Hayes. Our first score of the game.
Well, that's it. Is that a telling tale, or is that just a fluke? So we'll see later on during this part.
Moran in a tailback for this 2-point conversion. Spread formation. Sharman sees some space, but Aro Atalik shuts that down. A real quick score remains 6-0. The reigning champs, they strike first blood here in this battle between 2 and 3.
Yeah, it looked like they might have been using Moran as a bit of a decoy there for a quarterback keep.
Let's take a look at this again, Gertch. I think we might be at it from the end zone angle.
But has everyone got caught watching inside?
I think that might be Myra O'Connor as well. Just had eyes for the quarterback there.
Yeah.
She might have been the contained player, and that just gave Sade Kelly, who proved she can take it the distance.
And definitely a lot different with 9-a-side versus the men and 11s. A lot more room on that field.
Not too long of a break here for this Stingrays offense. Just turn the ball over and downs 2 plays later. Getting ready to jump back on the field. Back deep to return. Jensen and Hodgson.
Yeah, well, like most teams in the Southeast Queensland competition this year, a lot of teams are struggling with numbers-wise for obvious reasons. You do get injuries and stuff like that, but there's a lot of other commitments happen as well, which you can't avoid, like work and family and stuff like that. So, well done for both teams for fielding a team today.
Now, watch. Isla Cook is lined up as the gunner on the near side sideline, but they will kick away from her. Hayes, with this little pooch kick she's been perfecting. I think it's number 36 fielding it, Myra O'Connor.
It's probably a good call not to kick the 90. She is the defending MVP as well for Duo in Queensland, so she won that for a reason.
Sunball MVP as well. It was a really good 2018 for Isla Cook. And she's had a busy season, talking about players playing extended football with some of the representative duties. She's a dual sport athlete, gridiron obviously now, but before the season was playing a full season with the East Tigers in rugby league.
Yeah, and we're so glad that these ladies can come back and play gridiron with us.
Isla Cook pressuring Evans. Evans, though, gets the pass out to Hodgson. Hodgson has to rotate in the air to attempt that. Incomplete.
Still running that little hook play as well, aren't they, with Riley on the outside?
Second down and 10. Ravens. Show blitz. They throw over the middle to Fuller. Fuller picks up her first catch of the afternoon. She gets it past halfway.
Well, nice offence, just nice and simple. Catch and pass.
And then the square in and the slant for his two favourite routes.
Well, I see the Ravens are still persistent with 2 down line people and 2 outside linebackers. So when the Stingrays obviously spreading the field, it's giving them opportunities on the outside.
That's the end of the first quarter.
And that play runs
Get
us to
some water.
the end of quarter number 1. The Ravens have struck out a first 6-0. They lead the Stingrays heading into quarter number 2. Sade Kelly with the first quarter touchdown. 50-plus yard rushing touchdown for the rookie.
Yeah, and a lot of these ladies will be sucking in a lot of water. It's definitely warm out there, but you can see a little bit of the breeze on the referee's jumpers. But definitely warm out there today for these ladies.
Yeah, no, both coaches, I was speaking to them beforehand, they did speak to Dave Hodkinson about how that was going to be handled. He made it clear that he'll try to sneak in as many drink breaks as possible. He mentioned that at the coin toss as well. Trying to look after player welfare here.
But it's perfect football weather, mind you.
I was about to say, literally from our spot, not a cloud in the sky. Looks like those threats of a thunderstorm might be at bay, but I very well could have just put the mocker on it.
Oh, well, at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to be around for a few more hours.
Trips left. Evans looking over the middle, completes to Fuller. Fuller stands in the first tackle and actually converts with some good rack. First down Stingrays.
It might not look like it's the high-flying offence, but it's consistent offence. Completions are always happy to take,
And the Stingrays are streaky. I saw them, it was a night game, I think, against the Thunder. They just had trouble completing passes. Cody Fuller spoke to her after that game. She had a shocker of a game, dropping quite a few catches. She might be more of a natural light catcher, though. As soon as this Evans starts linking up with receivers, you see it start to come in bunches. I try to hand this off to Jensen, though.
Yeah, nice defence on the defensive line for the Ravens there. Nice stop.
And she's taken down at the 40. That's a loss of 3.
Well, that's good coaching as well, knowing what your keys are and just playing with what you've got in front of you.
Second and 14 now. Canadian Jensen in behind Evans for the speed option. She pitches it over the top of the defender, and Jensen fights hard to get that back to the original line, or the line of scrimmage, I should say. Still at least 3 yards short of the original line.
That was nice defence and nice containment on the outside. Good read.
Saw Ewers in your game there. Float some passes over the defenders as well. She was fearless.
Yeah, she's taking her shots when she needed to, and she made most of them as well. But it's good combinations between QBs and receiving core as well. Obviously they've been playing well all season. They were minor premiers for that reason, obviously.
But just some of the courage from some of these quarterbacks. I don't know if it's courage or recklessness, but those pitchers holding them to as late as they can and then pitching them over defenders and floating them out as if they were looking for a winger on the rugby league field. And this is a back shoulder fade caught nicely there by Norcliffe. She rides Todd all the way inside the 30 to the sideline. First down Stingrays. They're finding their mojo now.
I think that's the first time they targeted her during the whole game as well. So normally it's going to 13 and 4. Yeah, Brittany Todd just couldn't get to her fast enough, could she? But she did make the tackle in the end.
Ball's now inside the 30. Spotted at the 30. Sorry, the 27. Jensen to the right of Evans, trips right as well, but Evans wants Fuller on the backside. She gets her. That's 3 targets, 3 catches for Fuller.
Yeah, nice isolation play. He cleared the outside, trips right, and had Cody on the quick slant underneath.
Let's go. Cuttress And well, when you've got those 3-by-1s, the backside defender, specifically the backside corner, just has to back off there just because she can't be beaten by a deep fade. But that allows those in-breaking routes to become so easy and successful.
Especially with someone like Cody Fuller on the outside too. She can make those breaks and plays down the field.
Throwing front side this time to Hodgson. Incomplete though, too far.
Yeah, and those are her
Down
two.
to 4.
And those are her two main targets as well, Cody Fuller and Riley as well. So, 17 catching their ball earlier. Jessica, I mean, yeah, they're trying to spread the ball around, but their top two receivers are the ones that do the most damage.
Both kind of do it through different sort of means though. Cody Fuller a little more physical in her attempts to get open. She'll, brush past defenders, whereas Riley Hodgson, a technician, knows all the routes back to front and will shake and bake her way to a successful day. Inside shovel pass to that woman. Hodgson there. Not enough to get them a first down though, but we'll get them closer.
Good read from the Ravens as well to pick that up on the inside. Hard to pick up on those little inside screens.
Good tackle there from B. Clement to stay alive.
And that's still a bit of an arm wrestle, isn't it, Kenny? They're still feeling each other out. Even though Ravens are up 6, it's still an arm wrestle.
Just a few ticks over 4 minutes left in this first half. 4th down and a short 3.
I'll take a shot on the corner.
Yeah, Cody Fuller's got plenty of space to operate on the left-hand side. And Evans wants to go that way, but Marissa Hayes won't let her. A sack on the play. Isla Cook and Marissa Hayes take down Evans there late in the down count, and there'll be another turnover on downs. It looked hopeful for the Stingrays, but the Ravens defend their 6-point lead.
Yeah, Marissa Hayes and obviously Cook again, the number 90, dangerous on the outside.
Ravens now with their first possession of the second quarter. That's Karen Christian going into motion. Crack block on the outside. Fortunately, good pursuit from the rest of the Stingrays, though. Stops that play. Every time you see a successful crack block, you think that play has potential, but it was good scrambling there by the Stingrays linebackers.
No, exactly. And the Stingrays were wise to it as well, so they actually pushed up on it quite quickly.
Yeah, good job by the inside backer there. Ottawa Tulloch's. I think Mara O'Connor was the victim of that crack block.
Yeah, and obviously Tulloch's got a lot of experience playing Sun Devils and the like and playing at the high level, so didn't get fooled too much by that play.
A loss on the play, in fact, looking at 2nd and 12. Might even be close to 13. Spread formation now. Sharman waiting for the snap. Stingrays send 4. Sharman rolls out to the left, throwing back for Hayes. Hayes had it and lost it.
Oh, unlucky. That was definitely a different play.
And Hayes appealing for a penalty, suggesting that safety Tiafi Thurston was all over.
And the thing is here too, the defence from the Stingrays is very similar to what the Ravens are running. So it's just one-on-one on the outside, so it's just really trying to get the ball out to the player.
And it wasn't actually Thurston, it was young Kiralee Keynes, the Colt playing up in the women's division. Third and 12. Spread formation, same formation here for the Ravens here on 3rd down. They'll run it with Sharman, and Sharman gets it back to the line of scrimmage. The original line of scrimmage, that is. They'll have 4th and 10.
And who's there to make the tackle? The little linebacker, number 41. Again, we just spoke about Aroha being a representative player and was just too fast to get to the outside there.
And one of the surest tacklers as well. Tiafi Thurston is in the lineup though. She has been out of the game for the last real quarter of the season for the Stingrays with injury. has managed to kit up today and is starting at safety. This time she's in the slot.
Yeah, I noticed they did pull Moran out of there, so she had been sitting in that running back for the last few plays, but wasn't utilised, or actually wasn't even probably targeted, to be
Timeout,
fair.
Ravens. That's their first of the half.
4th down, the Ravens take a timeout. We'll take a quick break ourselves. Be back on the other side of it.
Omaha! Base! Junior! Blue 20! 50's right. Blue! Clear! Omaha! They're down! 50's right!
And back from the timeout, shout out again. Impact Sports. They've got a sale going on. Put your orders through. Special prices for all orders made before December 14th. For all of you who have brothers, girlfriends, wives, partners, little brothers, big sisters looking for football gear for season 2020, not a bad time to invest in a fresh set of shoulder pads or perhaps a shot helmet. Impact Sports, the way to go. Get in before December 14th. 4th down now. The Ravens took a timeout. I guess they... Oh, this is an awkward one, and this will be recovered from the Stingrays. That will be down at the 15. Hazen get an opportunity to punt it away. It's Mara O'Connor getting in, pressuring and recovering that football.
And this is one of the problems with a long snap. Doesn't always seem to go through to the play, and obviously just a bit of a fumble, and it does happen in the sport.
Yeah, looking like it's skipping a rock on over a lake there, and Marissa Hayes couldn't handle it, and O'Connor got on top of it. So this will be fantastic field position for the Stingrays.
This
They've been denied their last 2 drives.
Yeah, this is probably the break they actually needed, because like I said earlier, it's a bit of an arm wrestle with just over 2 minutes to go in the half. I mean, great opportunity for the Stingrays to level it all up.
Yeah, they thought they might have had to go 50 odd yards in 2 minutes. Right now they just have to go 15.
Yeah.
Cody Fuller, near side wide receiver. And they'll go speed option though. Fuller will block, but taken down behind the line of scrimmage is Jensen Isla Cook on the stop.
Yes, number 90, not surprised.
She's good.
So we take the 2-minute warning, but I wouldn't
Officials
mind taking a
timeout.
shot.
That's the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the half.
2-minute warning as you said, but yeah, you think right now is the opportunity or the time to take a shot for the Stingrays?
Yeah, well, they've just put, they've really just had Cody Fuller on a slant, so you can take a shot down in that corner, definitely, and Evans can throw the ball.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen Fuller run a number, quite a few less go routes than she did a season ago, where she scored almost a dozen touchdowns. And this will be a bit of a wildcat play with Hodgson at quarterback. We've seen this before. The Ravens clearly have as well. They shut that down. And now we'll have a 3rd and long.
Well, it's not a surprise that number 90 seems to get across.
Yeah, look at that. They lined up with Hodgson at quarterback. Evans went back, and then Isla Cook just persisted, chasing that down all the way from the backside to the far side
Timeout.
sideline.
Stingrays. That's the first of the half.
So here we go, time out to try and get the plays in and then get them organised.
Stingrays are taking a timeout.
Yeah, but you would think, Kenny, they'll take a shot in the end zone at least. They've got to have a go.
Yeah, no, they've got to possibly test the Stingrays, test the Ravens vertically here, and something they used to do so well that would open up the running game underneath.
Yeah, well, that's it. It looks like they've been using a lot of the underneath stuff for the really short routes, and haven't really tested the backfield for the Ravens. So, yeah, definitely a chance to take a shot with under 2 minutes to go.
By that being said, the Ravens are lining up with 3, sometimes 4, and are almost sending 3 and 4 every time. I think they're pretty much stopping. They're trying to prevent Evans to load up and throw long, and if they do, they want to make sure it's a contested ball.
Yeah, they just need to move the ball away from number 90, I'd say.
Well, They're going to find a way to double her or triple her or something. I know it's hard to do with a three-man line, but
Yeah.
you need to find a way. Drop a tight end or
I mean,
running back or something.
they did try run away from her on that last play, but she's still got a motor on her and made the tackle.
Ravens again with 4 in the box, only 3
Look at that room, one-on-one.
run. And there, Fuller again, looking like she's got room to move, but can they get it to her? She runs the slant and they try, and they do get it to her. That she gets it back to the 15 where this drive started. So now they'll get 4th and 10.
Yeah, just underneath routes, so very surprised they're not taking a shot at least.
Well, it might be worth considering is because Evans is throwing into the wind right now, and we're in the luxury of a sealed-off booth here, so perhaps that wind is a bit stronger. I'm just looking at the tents closest to us, and they look like they're struggling
It's
just a
actually-
little bit to say pegged in. So perhaps that is just discouraging the Stingrays' offense to go long.
They've got another timeout by the looks of it.
Timeout. Stingrays. That's their
Back-to-back
second.
So again, back-to-back timeouts, which I learnt this year isn't a penalty under IFAF ruling.
Yeah, well, we were surprised about it because we were able to do it today, so first of everything, I guess.
Yeah, no, I thought for a long time that's the rulings as far as NFL going. I thought NCAA, and whilst most of the IFAF rules do line up with NCAA rulings, I think that might be one of the exceptions.
Yeah, but the back-to-back timeout certainly was something that we've never seen until today, so good for us. We had a bit of a break.
I've seen a couple of them in 2019 now, which led me to do my research.
We just can't wait for the implementation of the new blocking rules for next season when GQ brings it in. The blind blocking is definitely something we want to take out of the sport and
Blindside
play,
blocking?
yeah, and the play protection. You know, there's a lot of big hits out there as it is. So
And right now, when we're still trying to grow the sport, particularly in the women's division, it's you need to try to make it as welcoming as possible. And shout out Oscar Lopez watching over from, I believe it's in California somewhere. I just can't remember if it's LA or SF. But he's runs his, I think it's a weekly or at least a monthly podcast there, focusing a lot on women's football. So he's always tuning into the action down under here in the women's division.
awesome, congratulations, a welcome.
He is a Rams supporter though, so I don't know how I feel about that. As one of the few supporters of the other LA team.
Yes.
4th down and 10. Stingrays desperately trying to shut down. They go back to that Wildcat formation, and it is picked up here from Hodgson. Now she's running for her life. Isla Cook forces a fumble, and the Ravens recover. It'll be turnover on downs regardless. And that'll be first down, our Ravens, and again, the Stingrays come up with air.
And unfortunately, it's a snap exchange from the centre to the QB. It is a problem for ladies, especially. But number 90.
Just wreaking havoc. Over the Stingrays, they have one of the most experienced centres out there. Again, interesting on 4th down, going to that Wildcat formation, also let's say Wild Ray formation with Hodgson and quarterback.
Because they've had it a couple of times here, haven't they? They try to run that sort of formation.
They've run it twice, not to any success so far. First down for the Ravens, currently lead 6-0 with under a minute remaining in the first half. Todd gets the carry on the end around. The Stingrays defense, Mara O'Connor again making her presence felt on the defensive side of the football.
I hate to
Timeout Ravens.
say it, but probably in the second half it might take a bit of brilliance from one person. Just one
Timeout.
to break the game with.
Ravens.
So at the moment, it's definitely
That's their
Ravens.
second.
Ravens using their second timeout there. Do you think the Stingrays might have to readjust at halftime? Will they change players, or do you think that they're going to think it's just execution and they can keep running the same stuff? They just need to do it better.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, it's almost like they aren't giving themselves a chance. They're not sort of pushing the envelope, and we know they can pass the ball. We know we can run to the outside, and they've got some talent on there. But it's almost like they're just bottling it up a little bit, you know?
Well, they've had 3 drives in this first half, all ending in turnovers and downs. Slash fumble recovery on that last one. I'm not sure what the exact ruling was. I think they actually called it a...
It was almost an incomplete pass because it went off
Yeah,
his
that's what I
hand
was thinking,
forward.
which actually would have been good for him because they would have had the ball start back the line of scrimmage. So
Yeah, she almost batted it back to the running back who touched it forward.
Yeah, Pete Davies coming out of his huddle there. He's competing to participate in his first ever Sun Bowl.
Yes, and it's good to see Coach G actually on the sideline too with the Ravens after retiring last season.
Yeah. Early jump there from Bob Rich, but she gets back on side. The rest of the troops do a great job though. Since giving up that long 50-yard rush, the Stingrays defense has done a great job against the run.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
had that one error, and unfortunately, player football, sometimes that one error can be significant.
And they have been camped down to the Ravens 20 for the last
Timeout.
quarter as well.
Ravens.
So it's
That's their final timeout of the half.
a definitely tough game.
Well, the Ravens using their third and final timeout there. That was Serena Martin on that last tackle for a loss. That's really put the Ravens in a hole here, looking at close to 3rd and 20.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're taking the timeouts, because if they get the 4th down, Stingrays have timeouts to hold the ball and get it
Exactly,
back.
yeah, no. To me, that suggests they feel like they've got something dialed up here that they can use, but I don't know. I might just be trying to burn that clock and get into the sheds with a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, well, Ali Sharman does have the win behind her, but I don't think she has that much of an arm to get it downfield.
I'd argue that her arm, ability is still developing. If they're going to try and make something work, you'd think it's got to be something involving misdirection or a screen. But it also could just involve handing the ball off to Christy Moran. She's in the backfield now. Spread formation, I actually checked that. They've got one tight end in, and it will be a throw. It's a beautiful throw, but it is off target. And that's, once again, Keynes covering Hayes there. Hayes, again, still not happy with the decision. I've got to say, I'm favouring the side of the refs here. I think it's just good coverage, and that throw in particular, off target.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's in slow motion, the Ravens offense at the moment with that, whether that's on purpose or whether they're trying to get something down the field, a mismatch or something, but yeah, very unusual.
Oh, notably as well, I mean, the Stingrays did have a timeout, but if the Ravens had run it there, and they would have forced the Stingrays to use their third and final timeout for the half. Now the Stingrays will get the ball back with 15 seconds and a timeout. And keep in mind, returning it for him is Riley Hodgson. She is back very deep. She's going to put her heels on the 30. Hayes the punt. Snap is good. So as a protection, this punt is high and will sit and take a friendly bounce all the way to the Stingrays 40. Or thereabouts. Officially out of bounds at the Stingrays 43. So importantly for the Ravens, that took off a fair chunk of time. It looks like there is 6 seconds remaining. Maybe just enough time for the Stingrays to take one shot to the end zone here if they want to do it.
Yeah, from halfway, they could probably take a shot.
Yeah, throwing into the wind though. Well, they're going to spread them out. Hodgson in the right slot. And they were going to go deep to Fuller, but this play was called dead.
I'm not sure what their call was from the referee. Maybe the ball
there's
wasn't spotted.
Yeah, I think it was a situation where the play wasn't whistled in. The Stingrays do like and want to play fast there, so sometimes they get a bit too ahead of themselves. They actually get a bit frustrated sometimes with the referee spotting the ball, but you do have to wait for the play to get whistled in. The referee's now more conscious of letting the defensive side have a bit more time to get set. Evans, good protection, looking for Fuller on the outside. Fuller gets the catch, only for about 2 yards. She does get out of bounds. Did she manage to get out of bounds before the clock reached 4 zeros?
She was bobbing it when she went over the sideline, but I'd say, yeah, it's probably out of time. Oh no, one might play.
It looks like she got out of bounds with 1 second remaining. So 1 second left in the first half. This will be the final play before we go to halftime. Failing the defensive penalty.
This time the ball's not actually spotted properly. So we're all having a bit of a moment today.
Building the anticipation. The ball is 1 yard into Stingrays territory. This will be a 46-yard throw if they try to go to the end zone. They go underneath the Jensen, trying to set up the screen, incomplete off Jensen's hands, and that will bring us to a close here for the first half of football. The Ravens, the only team to get into the scoreboard so far. And that was through a long rushing touchdown to Sade Kelly. Whoa, hang on, have I jumped the gun here? I don't know, maybe we've had a bit of miscommunication of time remaining. I was led to believe there was 1 second remaining, clearly a bit more. I'm getting questionable looks to my timekeepers to the right. Apparently there's one more. All right, stuff me. Maybe one more, could be more, who knows?
Maybe an incompletion.
Evans, they try to go to the shovel. Evans has to keep it herself though. Breaks the first tackle, she's got space. Kutras taking her down across the sideline. I'm not actually sure how much time is remaining now. I was under the impression that might have been it, but I see Hodgkinson calling for the ball now, and there it is.
That's the end of the
Now
half.
we're at halftime. Same sentiments remain. Ravens with a lone touchdown so far in this game. Sade Kelly owning that one. 6-0. They lead. One more half of football to play. Battle between 2 and 3 for the last spot in the Women's Sun Bowl. Kenny Andres, August Matene will be back on the other side of halftime. Confirmation that we are live. Good thing we weren't having the earlier conversation, but yes, welcome back for the second half in this battle between the 2 and 3 seeds in the women's division. These two teams are fighting to be the team to compete with the Griffith the University Thunder a fortnight from now at Dolphin Oval Redcliffe for a chance to be the 2019 Women's Sun Bowl champions. The Ravens looking to go for the three-peat. The Stingrays looking to return to the Sun Bowl fray. Right now the score's 6-0, just one touchdown separating these two teams. It was a Sade Kelly rushing touchdown from over halfway, giving them the 6 points, couldn't convert. The Stingrays haven't been able to find production in the red zone. 3 or 4 drives in the first half, turned over in each of them. Obviously running out of time in their final possession. Kenny Andres talking through the play-by-play throughout the 2019 finals, but joining me in colour for this broadcast here, Coach Matene from the Raptors. Mate, we were talking over halftime about these two teams. What changes do you think both these two teams might need to make here to capitalise on the second half?
Well, just an observation, just in the first half. Not too sure how the Stingrays are going, but they've definitely got a lot more talent in their team to actually get their ball out and spread around. I guess the biggest thing is they've just got to trust themselves, and they've got the opportunities out there. For the Ravens, I think they're just holding on a little bit as well. It's almost a grudge match, but it's really a big arm wrestle, but definitely didn't look like the Stingrays that we know that can actually get their ball out.
And we're going to go off air. We've just got a ground announcement to make just for those here at Sunshine Coast Stadium.
If there is anybody in the crowd with us at the moment who would be interested in doing the chain crew on the far side of the field who are not affiliated with the Thunder, or does that look like we've got that sorted out? We have got that sorted out. All right, thank you. Back to you, Kenny.
All right, back to me. Just handling some day-to-day business here, looking for some chain crew. Oh, some people that joined the chain gang there. Looks like that's all sorted on the far side. So we're ready to rock and roll for half number 2. But and both these teams, neither of these teams looking to attack either defense long here. How much do you think that has to do with the wind right now, which is seemingly only building throughout the day?
Well, that's what we know. Both quarterbacks are very good, especially Lauren Evans with the deep passing. And maybe they had a factor in this, definitely in the second quarter, where she wouldn't be able to throw deep in the field. But definitely their play selection was a little bit different to what they've normally played throughout the year. They can play really expansive and wide game. But you'll be interested to see in the third quarter, Kenny, how they sort of operate with the wind in front of them.
If that is the case, for the third quarter, the Stingrays still running right to left on your screen. The breeze blowing left to right. Evans will still be throwing into that breeze. These receivers will still be running into the breeze, which, believe it or not, does, particularly for some of those longer developing routes, you do feel it after a good couple runs there, running against the breeze rather than having the breeze behind you. For the Ravens, they did try a couple passes deep, unsuccessfully. Hazel targeted a couple times there by Ellie Sharman. couldn't complete, but they did find success on the ground. It was a bit of a stalemate outside of that touchdown, though. It was a bit of an arm wrestle, as you kept describing it, and we might see more of that in the third quarter unless one of these teams can find a way to break it open.
No, definitely on the defence for the Ravens, the person that's actually dominating this game is number 90, Isla Cook. Obviously she's reigning MVP, but she just shows why she's such a great player for this Ravens team. So I look for her to do a lot more in the second half.
Marissa Hayes, with a breeze behind her, takes full advantage and boots this into the end zone for a touchback. And this will be the longest this Stingrays offense would have had to travel so far this game.
And that's it as they trot on out the offense. Hopefully the Stingrays start open up the playbook a little bit more and just getting a lot more of their starters out there and really show what they can do, because they're actually a dynamic team when they can get going.
The Stingrays tried some personnel trickery. Twice they tried to run Hodgson in some sort of
Timeout.
wildcat.
Ravens. That's their first.
Okay, the Ravens on the first play of the second half have already taken a timeout.
Okay.
Peculiar.
Coach Davis is out there talking to the white hat at the moment. Yeah, obviously he's seen something he wasn't too happy about.
Well, the other option, I don't suppose it's challenging. I don't see a challenge flag out there. He's sort of obviously wanting it to take the timeout for the sake of clarification. He's having a chat now with David Hodkinson.
Thing is, it's a touchback, so the Stingrays start on the 20-yard line, so it's got to be something serious, he thinks, if he's coming out there to challenge the white hat.
Yeah, to burn a timeout to do as well.
Had to be something on their play, or else he would have spoken to them, I'm sure, in the half-time break.
Surely. Anyway.
Not something you don't see every day.
Yeah, no, conversations to be made. We're obviously not privy to that conversation, but Ravens already one timeout down. Stingrays in possession. 6-0. The difference right now. Evans with trips to the right is looking for Fuller on probably a post pattern there, and that's what we're wanting to see from this Stingrays offense. Some shots deep, and that's how they start their second half. Fuller with their fourth catch of the day.
Well, we've got Fuller out there on a one-on-one with a corner, and obviously she's a talented player. Can hit that nice slant. Good catch. But finally they open up the ball, which would be really nice.
On first down, they go underneath for Fuller. Fuller, that time, seemingly triple coverage. Evans had decided where she wanted to go with that football pre-snap. Incomplete, second down and 10.
Well, to be fair as well, you're going to be marking number 4, Katie Fuller, obviously, and Riley Hodgson. So those are really targets down the field. We did have Jessica Norcliffe catch a ball in the first half, but really 4 and 13 are go-to receivers.
Second down and 10. Back to the spread. Jensen is used for some as a fake as Evans keeps it herself, gets past the line of scrimmage, picks up about a yard. That'll make it 3rd and 9. Now, in the first half, a number of times you thought Fuller had good one-on-one matchups, particularly when the ball was on the opposite hash there, and you thought they could utilise that time. They went to the post in the first play. You looking for a little more out of Fuller on the outside?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're sort of going against a pretty tough, stout defence, you really got to back yourself and you've got to play to your best players.
3rd down, and Evans keeps it again. This time, no gain on the play. In fact, might have even lost a yard. Now they've got 4th and 10.
And that's probably going to be the first time we're going to call Moran's name on defence today. She's had a bit of a quiet day playing at safety.
Yeah, for at least the first drive or two, they used Moran to shadow Hodgson, but since then, Hodgson hasn't seen as many targets, and therefore we haven't heard Moran's name all too much. Did take a couple carries also in the first quarter, but again, has been used sparingly. Right now, she's on the field. That's Hayes almost getting a block there, and this punt, we're out of bounds inside the 30, so the Stingrays They open the second half with a punt. Again, they're trying to find some answers on offense.
But at least they're starting to air the ball out and they're starting to back themselves a bit, having a bit more impetus in their play call and selection.
There's official Natty Singh this time as the sideline official, was operating operating as the replay assistant in your game.
Yeah, and it's great to see as well with a number of referees out there today. I think there's about 7 on the field, which is fantastic, and we do appreciate the Referees Association being there as well.
First down and 10. Brittany Todd in motion, and they'll hand it to her. She got one carry in the first half, and she gets wiped out by Adha Tulloch. Mara O'Connor there to congratulate Tulloch on the big hit, and that's something Tulloch knows how to do and how to do well.
Well, I was going to allude to it this as we came back in the second half, but 41 and 90 on both defences are dominating the game.
Oh, huge hit there. 2nd and 9. 1 yard gain on that last carry there. After the first down and rush, we've got 2nd and 9. And I think that's Moran in the backfield. She's there to lead for Sharman. Sharman breaks through the first wave, and she's still chugging along, and she was met early and just through sheer determination pushes forward for a first down.
So here comes a different play, different look. Look at the extra effort going on to there.
As far as offensive utilization, the Ravens are quite content using Moran as a decoy or a lead blocker as of right now.
Yeah, with someone with her experience and having her in the backfield would definitely help in terms of running the ball, but it's almost like she's used exclusively just to block.
Ravens been spread out now. Again, Moran used to protect, and this is a pass over the top there, and I think that's Christian grabbing the first down catch. No, check that, it's B. Clement.
The difference is that they've been going to that play for a couple of
Officials
times as well,
timeout.
but they're normally
Medical.
running 13 Hayes on that slant.
And yeah, they couldn't connect this time, you're right. They go back to Clement, and Clement might be a better sort of target there to body up against the young Kings there, who I think is down injured on that play whilst making the tackle. A little pocket rocket, who'll also be playing tomorrow for the Colts. She looks like she's up and okay. Also worth noting, obviously the rule in Gridiron Queensland for Colts to be playing up in any senior division or any division above their grade, the rule is they have to compete in their game that usually goes before the senior grading. But obviously on playoff weekend, the juniors play the day after on Sunday. For GQ, provided that player playing up has played 3 games during the regular season for the senior game, they're eligible to play here on Saturday. So that's why
Yeah, that's
Kira
right.
Lee's out there.
That's right, and unfortunately there's been a number of penalties during this season about Colts playing up in the men's.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few, even to this day. The Logan City Juniors penalised just most recently last night. Moran, will she be used as a recipient of the ball? No, she won't. Sharman will keep this and she'll go down, but a solid gain on first down will set them up for about 2nd and 4.
No, Serena Martin, number 19, the outside linebacker, read it really well. She stayed on the outside, contained her, made Ali Sharman run up the middle, and then obviously number 41, who's having a great game, is making the tackle.
Yeah, to go to where I cut you before I cut you off there, quite a few clerical errors throughout the league this year, and GQ has been wielding the hammer. Several teams and clubs have been punished for it. But I guess the only answer is make sure you have your ducks in a row.
Yeah, no, for sure. Everyone's got to be eligible to play, and you're right, Kenny. If you've got to play in upper division and the seniors, you've got to play your game beforehand if there is one. So
The rule books are available online as far as the operations manual. So 2nd down and 5. And this will be another end around to Todd, and again it's shut down for a minimal gain, if that. Mara O'Connor making the stop.
we can see what the Ravens are trying to do, but when you have probably the best running back in the country in your backfield and not running them the same way, difficult to see. But obviously the Ravens have got a game plan and they're sticking to it.
I called their game, I think it was against the Thunder. Moran did end up running up a mutt, but to start that game, Chantel Peaver again started a running back. I thought she did a wonderful job, and it was probably a little overshadowed by Moran's 3 touchdowns that ensued. But yeah, I think Peaver is more than capable. But right now they're sharing the load a bit, and even amongst their wide receivers. A pass play here for Sharman, has to throw over a defender. Clement tries to come back for it, and that is Fuller on the coverage, incomplete. Now we've got 4th down. Clement making a bit of a shift, represented State on the defensive line, and now is trimmed up. She's had a hard off-season there. She trimmed up, and now she's playing wide receiver.
Yeah, no, she's doing really well, number 21. Again, still a bit of an arm wrestle between the 20-yard lines.
Fourth down, they need 6. A deep drop here from Sharman. Sharman taken down for that sack. And that is Hinimoa Barberich taking her down for the sack and the subsequent turnover on downs. And once again, both these offenses struggling to crack the defense. The Ravens now very grateful they managed to get that splash play in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Dare I say, this could be a situation where the team next to score could win.
No, exactly right. And I was going to cut a little bit earlier, but I thought bringing in 41 into Stingrays on offense and 90 into Ravens on offense is probably going to be the biggest plays. And sure enough, Ottawa Tug's playing at the running back at this moment.
And at quarterback, and there's no trickery about this is Hodgson, and she's genuinely going to be a quarterback here. Pumps the first ball, goes back, tries to get it to Fuller. Good pocket presence there, but actually overthrew Cody Fuller there. And that's Hodgson showing off a little bit of an arm.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because we know Evans was injured a couple of times during the season as well. And she's just standing on the sideline there just talking with the coach. And yeah, they've changed it up a little bit in the backfield.
If memory serves, I think in one of the games, the Stingrays versus the Ravens, Evans was completely injured and she missed one of her first games in her career. And Hodgson started and played the entire game at quarterback and won the game. So she is a capable backup. Tulloch, as you mentioned, in a tail. Try to give Hodgson time. The time won't be afforded though. Christian, Hayes, and Cook all contributing to bring Hodgson down.
Yes, there's a bit of a change up in the backfield for the Stingrays. I'm not quite going to plan at the moment.
Oh, I'm not certain, but Ravens look like they're running a bit of a zero blitz concept, which in short is basically finding out how many they think are protecting for the Stingrays and sending one more.
Yeah, they've got a lot of pressure up on that D-line from the Ravens as well. Like they're just staying to their jobs, marking their territories and just making sure they're tackling.
4 set to rush for the Ravens now. Looks like this Ravens will man up on everybody else. Speed option here for Hodgson and Tulloch. Hodgson will keep it. Will get past a one defender and they'll be taken down. Maybe 2, at the most 3 yards on that play. Now they've got 4th and double sticks.
So at least the Stingrays are trying to change it up a little bit here, having a little bit of a pitch option to the outside. Great coverage there by Isla Cook, and obviously in the backfield there, just
Timeout.
making them push to the
Stingrays.
outside.
That's their first of the half.
Stingrays take a timeout, and then Hodgson managed to get that ball to the 29, but they'll need to get it all the way to the 42 to convert. And where is this quarter gone? We're already down to the final 2 minutes of the third. Just 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining in the third, a quarter of play. Stingray has taken a timeout now on 4th down. And did I speak a bit too early? I don't know if it's just a tinge here in the box, but we've gotten a little bit overcast here at Sunshine Coast Stadium.
Well, hopefully it's lightning still going to stay off for a little bit longer. We need to get through this game and the next ones, obviously.
It's not the first time the Sunshine Coast weather has played havoc or wreaked havoc with the results of games in Gridiron Queensland. I actually posted in the old Gridiron Queensland past and present page last night about the protocol, and we're actually just taking a look at the tent here just from our position. Evans is under the tent getting attention, so that explains why Hodgson was at quarterback.
And also 41 Tulloch's actually on the sideline too as well, so hopefully she's doing well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's there for attendance or if she's there for moral support. But Stingrays send Fuller into punt. She gets it, boots it down a field. Will take a Raven bounce backwards. Well, geez, you would have loved that if you managed to drill that down to the one, but ends up working back towards the Stingrays sideline and marked out at the Stingrays 42.
Well, Kenny, we are getting to that time you alluded to earlier. Maybe the next team that scores will win the whole entire game. And as we get late into the third quarter, the time is running slowly out for the Stingrays.
And in the 9-man format in the women's division, you know, the defense is always in with a pretty half-decent chance to make a big play like this. If you're the Ravens nursing a 6-point lead, do you all sort of get a little more conservative, knowing that, you know, you're towards the end of the third quarter, one more quarter to play after this, and just try not to turn the ball over?
Yeah, well, that's it. I think you just keep the ball in hand. That's why they're doing a bit of end around as well with 21 and bringing in the running play.
Slightly different package here for the Ravens. 2 in the backfield. It will be a handoff to Moran for the first time in the second half, and she'll take it forward for 4, maybe 5 yards, but flags are down back at the almost the 50. Trying to figure out what this flag might be for. And David Hodge gets another call.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Replay first.
2 many in the backfield there. 5 in the backfield. Becoming quite a frequent penalty in both the Colts and the women's divisions, as sometimes there's just someone not aligned or not motioning correctly.
Yeah, or just awareness on the field. But definitely at the moment, in terms of the Ravens, if they play conservative, obviously with Evans not being on the field, it does throw the Stingrays out a little bit. Potentially for the Ravens, they can just grind this game out and take home the win.
Still more than a quarter left to go though. 1st and 15. Hayes against Fuller, but it'll be another give to Moran. Stingrays do a good job on her. Limit her gain to a 3-yard carry. 2nd and 12.
Yeah, well, they're going to the heavy package now, so you'll see they've got everyone in. There's no spread offense here. They're just filling up the gaps and just blocking forward. So the Stingrays are still in a spread as if they was going to go for a spread offense. So the Stingrays will need to make adjustments to that now.
Will Tulloch is back on the field, so looks like no injury concern for her. She was just there to check in on her quarterback. 2nd and 12. Staying in the same formation. Twins left now though. And this might be the end of the third. Ball
That's
is
the end of the third quarter.
End of the third quarter. At the end of 3, halftime score remains unchanged. The Bayside Ravens lead the Gold Coast Stingrays 6-0. Just 8 minutes of play remaining for one of these two teams.
And the score itself is probably indicative of how even these teams have been situated all year. Some of the Ravens would pick up a game, or the Stingrays would pick up a game, so it's definitely arm wrestle. They're evenly matched. It's just whoever can take the opportunities.
And just a bit of a weather update. It is probably not too alarming at the moment, but it is starting to get a little cloudy out there now. The teams change sides, and now Evans, if she gets back on the field, will have the wind behind it. As Sharman goes for a pass, and this is completed to Hayes, who climbs the ladder to make that catch.
Yeah, it's a nice clean offense right there. Yeah, well done. Nice catch.
Yeah, and Sharman there had her eyes on Moran there. She wanted to take the easy option, but looked downfield, saw Hayes open, went back to her. Despite failing to complete to her in the first half, showing plenty of trust in the veteran.
And at the moment, it's pretty indicative of how both teams have been playing. A lot of short routes being thrown.
3rd down and 5. Ravens trying to chew more clock. It's a fake to Piva. Sharman keeps it herself and she's got the first. Or is she just short? 1st down to Ravens.
And just getting that ball out in the backfield, just the keeper. And she just managed to get that 1st down to keep that drive alive for them. So if the Ravens stay on the field the way they are, it's going to give very little time for the Stingrays to come back in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, keep in mind there's no 5-minute rule in Gridiron in Queensland. So even if the Stingrays grab the ball back, running out of bounds doesn't stop the clock until we're inside the 2. 2 minutes that is, and we might have a delay game. Joe Goslin, the back judge, giving the signal for a delay game.
Delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first.
So that'll move them back. I don't think that's going to be too much of a concern though for the Ravens. I think their eyes are on the clock more so than the yardage right now.
Yeah, Coach Peter Davies, he's pretty content on the sideline, so you know it's all okay with him.
I think he's also got the assistance of Andy Miller, who's coached a lot of these girls, was the initial head coach of this program back in 2015. Moran with the carry, Mara O'Connor with the stop. Boy, she's been a sure tackler today. She had the one error, which unfortunately did cost a touchdown at the start of the game, but since then has been an absolute rock in defence.
Well, that both teams have been trading barbs on defence, and someone's taken dominance opposed the others. It's really the offences of both teams that are just struggling to get conversions going.
Time ticking down, under 6 minutes now. Five and a half minutes remaining. 2nd and long here. 2nd and 15 for the Ravens. Sharman will pass and will incomplete. She had Hayes in and out of Hayes' hands. So not only is that incomplete, but that also stops the clock.
It was just unlucky. She had the ball in her hands and just popped out. Nice little in route.
Yeah, it's been a good day as far as catching the ball for Hayes.
Well, she can't blame the lights.
In any sort. There's Andy Miller in his signature Andy Miller pose.
Looks like they're going to persist for formation through the rest of the game as well, the Ravens.
Yeah, staying in this 2-back formation. This one will be another fake to Piva. And oh wow, that could have been disastrous for the Ravens. Stingrays miss out on an opportunity there. Sharman decided to try and pop that to Moran late, and it went up into the air for anyone to grab, but it is Moran who comes down with it.
This is the most 4th down conversions I've ever seen in a women's game for quite some time. So this shows you how tough the game is out there for everyone. Oh, she was lucky to catch it. Absolutely lucky.
Just looking at the scores between these two teams, you just a lot more offense at the start of the season. You see as the season comes along and as these teams compete against each other, you know what, you guys pretty much with a roundabout played each other 3 to 4 times this season. You can see the scores tighten up as the season came to a close, as you start to key in on tendencies.
Timeout.
Yeah. Oh,
Ravens.
timeout, Ravens.
That's their second.
Time out here. Second time out here. But both defenses, they're still starting to tighten up there, and now we're seeing a lot of 6-0, 16-6, 8-0 score lines between a lot of these women's sides.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even with the Griffith University Thunder as well, they've been expansive with their playing. They've been very consistent in what they do, so that's why they've done really, really well. We've got some quality coaching and players on that team. It'll be interesting to see who they come up against in the Sun Bowl final, because going by this rate, they could probably pick and choose which one they want to play and be very confident about it.
And any time for the Stingrays, the total score has been kept under 12 points. The Stingrays have won one of 3 there, where they got a 6-0 victory over the Ravens. Ravens back out of the timeout, 4th down and 11.
You got the receivers nice and tight as well.
And
Yeah,
they're going for
so
a
the
shift
shift.
here. Similar shift to what they used early in the first half. This will be past the Moran and a flag on the play here. The Stingrays can't bring her down. She lowers her shoulder and I think she stepped out of bounds. So regardless of the flag, this won't be a conversion based on the merits of the play. Let's see what the...
I'd say they probably have 5 in the backfield.
I think that's a possibility here. And also, it also might have been a situation where, hang on, well, whoever they call, David Hawkinson.
Illegal formation on the offense, 5 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, replay forward.
And I thought it might have been a situation where they didn't wait the allotted second. You need to stay still after a shift. It is too many in the backfield though.
You know, just with those shifts, obviously it's a bit confusing if someone's on or off the line, and you can get caught out, and we did get caught out today with one of those as well, so it can happen easily.
So for those who might be wondering what this 5 in the backfield means, an offensive team needs to have 5 players on the line of scrimmage. And that's usually obviously the 3 offensive linemen, and then
Correction.
your choice of...
Stingrays have declined the penalty. The result of the play is a turnover on downs, 1st down.
That makes a lot of sense. It was a 4th down. And the Stingrays, for a second, did the maths.
Well, someone was awake on their sideline, so thanks for that.
We would rather take... As I said, I mentioned the Moran actual play, regardless of the flag, didn't convert there, so the logical decision was to decline the penalty there and take the result of the play.
Okay, I mean, with time sort of getting down on the 4th, I'll be watching number 90 for the Stingrays. They need to get going. They need to get some conversions and some first downs to have a chance of scoring.
And Evans is on the sideline now, and she's got tape on the ankle that was receiving attention, but it is still Hodgson taking snaps. Hodgson now loads and throws, looking for Fuller. Out of her range though, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and that's been the route that they've been running all day with some success in it. But obviously with number 7 not being on the field, the executions are not as crisp as what they used to be.
Second down and 10. A little bit of a motion there for Jensen. Hodgson now sprinting to the sideline. 2 Ravens in pursuit, and Peaver knocks her out of bounds. Massive loss on the play there for the Stingrays.
And that's it with the defensive pressure the Ravens are bringing. Their pass rushes, their run defence. So, yeah, they're not going to have much joy out the backfield with Riley Hodgson there and not being able to get their ball down the field.
And obviously, having Riley at quarterback naturally means you don't have a wide receiver.
Yep, and then obviously number 4 becomes the focus of all your attention, and you just notice with the defences, with the Ravens, they're backing out of everything. They're not playing the run at all. They're just containing outside, and yeah, they're playing pretty shallow, looking for the pass.
Change in the backfield there, as this pass was intended for Fuller, again over her head though. Again, a little bit of a significant height difference between Hodgson and Evans though, so Hodgson has to get a bit more loft on those passes, and you can see that leads to a bit more of a loop than say some of the passes that you see from Evans over the middle.
Oh, you could see the play before that. She was actually on her back foot trying to hop and throw at the same time, which is not ideal for anyone.
And that 3rd down conversion unsuccessful. It leads to another punting situation. Fuller's back to send this down a field, but time is quickly becoming a factor here for the Gold Coast Stingrays. That's a great punt from Cody Fuller. Gets it into Ravens territory. They'll say it went out of bounds at the Ravens 42.
Oh, I might go on a limb here and think that the Ravens probably won't pass.
Not a bad guess. 3:36 by my clock remaining in this women's playoff game. 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, I think Coach Peter Davis will be happy with what he's getting at the moment, and if they can get a conversion on first down, then he'll be happy. But I think they can back their defence if they had to punt on the fourth down.
Well, the reality is, you want to at least get to the 2 minute warning out of this drive. And it's only 96 seconds away, but you don't want to get caught stopping the clock either incompleting or needing to take a timeout. They'll go speed option. Sharman will just take this forward, grabs 4 or maybe 3. Let's see where they mark it.
And that's the biggest thing too. The Stingrays haven't been effective enough to try and control them. Ottawa Taluk's been able to make up some good plays a couple of times there, but the reality is that they haven't been able to stop the running game.
I'm going to say a lot of these runs for the Ravens, they haven't had a lot of negative run plays, at least when they're trying to go up the middle there. That's a good job by this Ravens offensive line right now, especially against one of the toughest D-lines in the league.
Yeah, that's it. They got some really good talent on their team and a lot of experience as well. So, by all means, they're just doing what they can do really well.
Oh, you said they wouldn't pass. They've gone to the spread formation now. Another one of those crack block attempts, spin move. As Sharman presses the circle button, only picks up a yard out of that play, though. They do keep the clock ticking.
But Lamar Jackson been evoked there.
How about Lamar Jackson, hey? I myself have been proven wrong. Didn't think he'd make the jump as well as he did. Still got many years to prove that, this is more than a bit of a...
Oh, and there's a lot of comparisons with Michael Vick, but Lamar Jackson's definitely a different person.
Well, he's certainly shattering all Michael Vick's records already as far as first, 14, 15 starts go.
Oh, it's funny. Ravens and Ravens.
Exactly right. I was trying to draw that comparison. 3rd down now. And that is the 2 minute warning, so the Ravens will have an opportunity to run a play beyond 2 minutes.
Officials timeout.
All indications.
That's the 2 minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in regulation.
2 minutes remaining in a regulation there. White hat referee, Dave Hawkinson, careful on his words there, saying 2 minutes remaining in regulation.
And Ali Sharman had a bit of a word to her running back, and I'd suspect that it might be a run.
Oh no. 3rd down and 4. It's a bad snap, and who's come away with this one?
She's got it.
Not
She's got
Sharman.
it. She's got it.
This could be a Stingray ball. Yes, it is! The Stingrays! They keep hope alive! The Ravens managed to take it inside the 2 minute warning, but the Stingrays, still armed with 2 timeouts, recover this football inside a Raven territory.
It's just a bit of a bad snap, low to the feet, and it's very difficult for anyone to pick that up.
And last time I broadcasted a Ravens game, Sharman had a horrible night as far as grabbing snaps. All but fine this game, it would appear. It seemed like that was a thing of the past. Reads its ugly head in a clutch moment there. So the Stingrays now have an opportunity to at least push this to regulation.
And that's it. We've been alluding to it all day about the Stingrays playing a little bit differently than we normally see them. Obviously with the change of quarterback as well, with Evans on the sideline.
And Evans looks like she's done for the day. She's not receiving any more attention. Hodgson is the girl to do it. Fuller in double coverage, can't bring it in. The combination of Cuttress and Moran working on Fuller there. The Ravens, they telling the Stingrays offense, if someone's going to make a play, it's not going to be Fuller.
No, that's right. The Stingrays have to back themselves and get everyone downfield. It's a bit too late now to try and run the ball in. We're on the 2 minute mark, but it's just time's going to beat them.
5 wide. But they'll use a tight end to block. Again, same play going for Fuller, and again, the Ravens shut away with 2.
Yeah, that's a tough bit, like you say, with Riley now on QB. Takes one of the weapons away, and obviously Cody Fuller's one of the go-to players.
3rd down and 10.
I think it might end up having to be a lucky catch somewhere downfield.
Well, they have spread her out. This could also be an opportunity, especially on 3rd down, for Hodgson to try to use her elusiveness and handle it on the ground. She'll throw, though. It's a beautiful spiral and it did hit the hands there of Norcliffe, but she couldn't bring it in. Tight on the coverage.
Well, number 90 was bearing down on her and actually gave her a bit of a hit. Just actually threw the ball as well. So, again, just throwing off the back foot.
And on a fourth down, I dare suggest, I would argue, possibly
Timeout. Stingrays. That's their second.
4 or 5 of the timeouts we've seen in this game, and I guess would have to be 4 based on time that's remaining, have been on fourth down.
Yeah, yes, I said it earlier. I haven't seen that many fourth down conversions in a women's game for quite a while.
Fourth down timeouts as well.
Well, timeout straight after the kick.
Yeah, exactly. Fourth down and 10 here. I don't think the Stingrays, with under 2 minutes remaining, 1 minute 37 to be precise, are calling a timeout on fourth down to punt this away. They need to grab their best play and they need to run it successfully.
Well, that's it. I assume they'll get all their skilled players out there, get the ball to the first down marker. So, I mean, they've only got 10 yards to go. You only need that one lucky catch.
With fourth down and 10, there's really 2 things you're doing. You're either running your best play or you're running a trick play. And it's a tough decision here for Adzi, the head coach for the Gold Coast Stingrays women's side here on fourth down and 10.
Raymond's got to be smart on defence, nothing silly. Just contain, they'll go well. I wouldn't think they'll be punting.
They're going to go with the same formation the Ravens have been showing in this 2-back set, and they're going to trust Tulloch to take it forward. Flags are down, and Tulloch just gets past the line of scrimmage. Depending on the result of this flag, this could be a turnover on downs. Not a whole lot of celebration on the Ravens sideline.
Legal formation on the offense. Penalty has been declined. First down, Ravens.
And it was on the offense. The Ravens have the ball back now with 90 seconds remaining and a 6-point lead. The Stingrays with just 1 timeout remaining. They will need nothing short of a miracle.
And it's quite interesting to see that number 41, probably the best player on their defence, is trying to run the ball back, hit by probably the best defensive player on the field, number 90.
And we don't give MVPs for playoff games, but she would certainly be up there for player of the game.
Oh, definitely. Isla Cook has definitely influenced this team, and the Ravens have done what they needed to do to win.
Ravens, 6-point lead. Maybe one run and they can kneel their way to victory.
That's got to be smart with the ball. Empty backfield.
They might even start taking their knees now, and that would make complete sense.
Oh, yep, taking the knee.
Stingrays, if they choose to, will expend their last timeout. Of course, it's would be but a formality here as the clock ticks down. And as a former player, former coach, and they will use their final timeout.
Yep, Stingrays have finally done it. Took them a while to call it.
Timeout, Stingrays. That's their final timeout of the game.
And look, as a former player, as a former coach, both of us can sympathise with the Stingrays here, knowing that you're out of timeouts, knowing they let teams kneeling out, and multiple kneels to go in a playoff game. It's a heartbreaking feeling.
No, absolutely, and we alluded to it just after half-time. From the first half, the Stingrays didn't quite look like the Stingrays of old, how they played during the season, and whether that's through injury or design, maybe the different game plan, but there seemed to be an arm wrestle, and from that one little run to the outside where the Ravens were able to score, has led to them to almost taking this game away with less than 2 minutes of the game to go.
Something I haven't brought up is all the long-term inactives for the Stingrays in 2019. A lot of them here turning into coaches. Ella Briscoe and Amy Henry in particular, and also add Sarah Schultz onto that list as well. If those 3 women, all representative players, all of them missed extended time this year. Henry getting injured in the first game. Schultz unable to kit up for this game, for this season for injury. If they have those 3 women, this season probably looks very different. This game certainly looks very different.
No, for sure, and I think that it sort of shows a bit of a trend in the women's competition at the moment, with the unavailability of a lot of experienced players.
And Sharman, successful snap, successful kneel.
I mean, the Ravens had the same problem earlier this year as well with the experienced players, obviously having other commitments before football, and that's just the way life is. but definitely, missing a lot of experienced players in the program will definitely show, and that could be something that contributed to today for the Stingrays not being able to get the win today.
"40 seconds ticking down, an excruciating wait for the losing side. And looks like we're about to the ball being raised. Whitehead referee David Hodkinson ready to call an end to this.
And that's it. Well done to the Ravens. They've done what they needed to do. And for the Stingrays, they just fell short today.
And 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and end. Ladies and gentlemen,
That's the end of the game.
second team for the 2019 Women's Sun Bowl has been booked. A Sade Kelly touchdown in the first quarter. The only difference between these two teams, the Ravens are heading back to the Sun Bowl, and for 3 years straight, we will see the Ravens taking on Griffith University Thunder in the women's division. And the Stingrays, they'll look forward to season 2020.
And well done to the Stingrays team as well, getting this far with all the issues that they've had along across the league in southeast Queensland, and obviously to the Ravens as well. So it's been a tough season for all teams, but congratulations to the Stingrays for making this semi-final, and congratulations to the Ravens to go and meet the Griffith University Thunder in the Sun Bowl.
And Pete Davies, as far as I'm certain, it will be, at least as a head coach, will be heading to his first championship game, I believe. So he'll be excited. And well, for the Stingrays, they've still got plenty of talent, they've still got plenty of experience. They will definitely still be a contender in 2020. But today, their offense just couldn't get the job done.
No, that's right too. So they'll go back and dissect what's happened this season as well. Obviously, the biggest goal for the ladies is the 2021 World Cup to represent the Australian Outback, and 2020, a lot of teams will be trying to force their players to go that route as well and be
WHL
represented.
as well, 2020 as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just great for women's sport. If anyone knows anyone out there that's looking at sport, please get in contact with all the competitions, all the different clubs. More ladies the merrier. There's a lot of clubs that are actually fielding a lot of younger ladies in the junior Colts teams coming up. So yeah, this league will get better and bigger.
Well, there it is. Our first championship game is booked. For the third straight season, we will be seeing the Bayside Ravens defending their title against the Griffith University Thunder. Can the Thunder, after 2 cracks at it on the third time, is it third time's a charm, coming in as the number 1 seed, they'll be looking to take this title away from Birdtown. Kenny Andres, August Martani, thank you for joining us here for possibly the first 2 games of the 2019 final series. August, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Kenny, so much.
And we've still got the men's games upcoming here on Playoff Saturday. We will have the Bayside Ravens taking on the Gold Coast Stingrays next in the men's division. Stick with us. We'll see you then.
Get him up, get him up. Get him up, get him up. Funny how you choose and pick your battles, dude. Keep saying you number 1, but I'm on top. Yo, it's done. Dropping styles like napalm. Fake rappers think they so strong. Verses full of hype and always ready for a fight. Spontaneous, magnanimous, cause they can't get close enough to run with us. If you wanna battle, get it hard, get it raw. No emotions, I shake you until your chains fall off. What? Large, in charge, I set the bar high. You running with the big boys now, get up.